Hi everybody. Coffee with iron bones. I guess I could have put it into a coffee cup and pretended it was coffee. Okay, welcome. I'm going to tell you the story about my pond waterfall. I don't know if you can hear it in the back. What a glorious day today was. So I'm going to be doing a few during this holiday time videos. I'm going to tell you some stories. They were told as the truth to me. Now, this one, I was waiting to find out the actual timeline for what happened. So far, I've gotten that it's before the conquistadors, and now it was after the conquistadors and before Pancho Villa. Pancho Villa invaded the United States about 20 miles from here. But he had been in this area a long time. He'd come and go back and forth from the border. There's a wonderful place if you're interested in Pancho Villa and the story of that, which is really, really interesting, other than he invaded the United States, and I believe he was the only foreign nation that has ever invaded the United States. So this happened around the Pony Express time. This whole area was part of the Pony Express route. And if you watch old westerns, like I know some of you do, you'll hear a lot about Lordsburg in New Mexico and Santa Fe, of course, way up north. But Columbus is where they raided. The Three Sisters, Tres Hermanas, is where the United States bivouacked after they invaded. But this tit for tat had been going on for a long time. So this area, this homestead where I live, was huge. It was a very large, of course, big chunks of land. They ran cattle on it. Didn't really farm it. But later on, I'll take you to a small, dilapidated town. It's not there anymore, really. It's called Hermanas. Hermanas used to grow this whole area grew tomatoes in the 50s, but this is before that. So here we go. So what I have heard is that this was a pond, and yes, indeed it was, and it was empty when we took it over, my late partner and I, and this small chunk of land that I bought was portioned out of a larger piece of property, and so it's only 7 acres, but there's 33 acres all the way around that just recently sold. I had no desire to increase my desert property because there's very little I do, as you have seen, just about an acre, and that tires me out. But so the Pony Express used to run through here, and there is an old dilapidated Pony Express adobe house that's still standing that you really need to see, and then over there by Hermanas. But the Mexican were always around here. The Pony Express traveled through here. You know, this is where settlers came through. Well, people on wagon trains knew where the water was. The wagon master, they really needed to know, because We've been out here now for, I don't know, it's been without rain for 160 days. So it's really dry. This pond used to always have water. It might have been potable for the cattle, but there was always water here. When we got here, there was nothing. It was just a big empty hole. My partner had retired already and was so excited, coming from San Diego, to have a pond, because he used to have a pond. So he fixed it all up, but while he was fixing it up, water started coming back in. Water was coming in. So, and I didn't bring it out. So hold a moment, I have a prop that I need to bring to you. Okay, this is what he found. It is not gold. I cleaned it all up and looked at the back. It does have jewels in it. It's probably an old pocket watch that somebody, well, I know it's a pocket watch. It has a picture of a very old man. Well, he's not an old man, just an old picture there. Kind of spooky. So it wasn't anything valuable, so we just kind of hung on to it. It is a bolivar, and I'm not saying that it was had anything to do with the creek. It probably just got thrown in there when it dried up. So it was known to be guarded by soldiers. Now, what soldiers? Because see, that puts me back into the timeline of Pancho Villa and those guys. And but they said, no, this has been out here for longer than that. But the stagecoach would come by and water their horses. And then about 10 miles to the west of us, and maybe 10 miles, so it'd be southwest of us, is that little area called Hermanas. And that's another stage stop on the way from Lordsburg back there and back to El Paso. And as you, I hope you all know that there was a bandito called Billy the Kid. Well, he kicked around here a lot. Not necessarily here, he was up in Silver City. So when we got here, water started coming out, not a lot. He was so excited that the pond was going to fill up naturally. Well, it didn't keep enough water being filled to fill it up naturally. So when he passed, I just couldn't keep the pond up. Too many cattails, too many fish, too stinky of water. I had filters and all of that, sterilizers and lights, but it still smelled too bad. And I had a gal come and look at it and say, oh no, she says, there's a story about that pond, and she called it a tank. So the story I got from her was, yes indeed, soldiers used it, but they had to cross this man's land to get in here, to use it for water for their horses. So there was told that there was people, the native indigenous people, Spaniards, who knows, they were here to the point where they set up a guards being here, and they had to stand at attention like the palace guards and not move to make sure nobody took over their water. And so I'm going to spin this just a little bit in honor of two of those soldiers. I've got chairs up there for them to sit on. And I can't see if you can see them, but there's some chairs there. So, and you can hear the waterfall. Well, it's not much of a waterfall. Now let's straighten this back up. So, The chairs are for the guards who never left their post. And I mean literally never left their post. They were shot dead, guarding their post from, I don't know, could have been Americans, I don't know. But, and I don't even think it was Americans, because what the story is telling me, it was before New Mexico became a state, so we're in the 1800s. So the ghosts used to wander out here. Yes, the ghost would wander through the weeds. And I have not seen them, but I know there's people out here. There's spirits out here. And so glad I'm not alone, because they're very quiet. And I thought by giving these two gentlemen their chairs, they could sit and keep an eye on the back of my property and the pond. That's the story of my pond. Now, you guys can take it as you want. I have this wonderful watch with this lovely fob on it. And again, it's not gold. Was probably worth something back then, but it's not a gold watch. So that's the story I have for this. Now, I have personal stories that I'm going to tell you. And we will explore the occult. We will explore All Hallows Eve. We will find out what's haunting the desert Southwest. Needless to say, I have stories of my own. They've come down through the generations. My family, part of it, came over from Portugal and ended up in Hawaii. My grandmother and my mother, and they were all born. They're not Hawaiians. They're picking sugar cane. And lots of stories. We're going to hit ghosts from across the seas. We're going to hit ghost in the pineapple fields. We're going to, apparitions are all over us. And don't ever take it for granted when somebody tells you they hear something, because they probably do. Stay tuned for the next ghost story. Now, I want you to hit that thumbs up. I want you to hit notifications, because that way you'll know when the next story is coming. And I really need you guys, because I really want to have a live chat with all my friends. Everybody that does live chats seem to really enjoy it. So let's get together, subscribe. Hope everybody is wonderful out there. We are going to have a ball for the next 2 weeks. Don't forget to hit that like button. Thank you, and adieu.